enterprises such as Radio Shack, CompuMe and Mobile Shop.
كانت أموال الشعب المصري وذلك كان من خلال ما
The Brotherhood built the empire with the money of Egyptians. They received donations from the people through their NGOs and charity organizations. Instead of the money going to the poor, sick or elderly or advertised, they actually go to the Brotherhood companies and economic assets. The profits and revenue is then used to fund terrorist activities.
But what will become of these tens of companies and assets?
Well, there are three options for the government. Either to completely close down these projects or to sell it to the private sector. The third option is for the government to set up a board to run these companies, and the revenue would go to the state budget.
The government could be planning a mix of the three.
These companies will be managed by a special committee established by the state. They will correct all deficiencies in these institutions, and the income will be poured in the legal channels. They will sell some assets and close down some NGOs, but the committee made it clear all workers will keep their jobs or will be offered alternative employment opportunities.
The crackdown includes companies listed at the stock exchange. But how has the market reacted to it?
The stock exchange has not been affected by the court decision. This decision will actually benefit the economy because the Brotherhood economic activities have been harming the country. They evaded taxes, created a large shadow economy, and aimed at destabilizing the society. The schools, for example, were preaching extremism to students. All this will change now.
Experts say that's not the end of it. They expect even more Brotherhood assets to be unveiled and confiscated soon. Yes, Hakim for CGTN, Cairo.
I did promise we're going to talk about the markets in Egypt, so let's focus on that now. The country's main stock index has dropped the most since January 2017, leading declines pretty much among the bourses in the Middle East. The sell-off followed the detention of the former president Hosni Mubarak's two sons, among others, three others in fact, in relation to a case linked to stock market manipulation. Over in Dubai, the equity scale also fell to the lowest level since January 2016 after breaching a key resistance level. So then, let's figure out exactly what's going on over there. Yasser Hakim is live in Cairo tonight with more data on this. Yasser, good to see you. So the index, the EGX 30, that was down by over 3.6% in trading on Sunday, down another 0.7% today. Walk us through what happened.
Yes, today was even more sell-off, especially from the foreigners in the market, Rama. Most of the buyers were the Egyptians and Arabs, and it continues the downslope from yesterday, though on a better or improved downturn. Yesterday was one of the worst since 2012 for many companies, and therefore today, for example, the broader EGX 100 was down at 1.17, and that's better than yesterday. EFG Hermes and Qala Holdings, the two that were badly hit, were also down, but at better numbers. Instead of 8.3 yesterday, it's only 3% today, and for Qala it's 0.9% instead of 4%. So there is still an improvement to be done. Maybe there might be an improvement tomorrow because there has been a statement coming out from the court saying that there might be some positive news concerning the court case that's related to Ala and Gamal Mubarak, the presidents, the sons of the former President Hosni Mubarak.
Indeed, I'm glad you brought that up because the sons of the former president arrested in a case where they're being accused apparently of buying majority stakes in several banks through front companies. Could you walk us through the finer details of this case and how it links back to the fall that we've seen in the last two trading sessions of the EGX?
Yes, it started back in 2012 after the uprising that ousted Hosni Mubarak in 2011. And it's related to accusations of illegally gaining around $120 million for Ala and Gamal Mubarak, plus another 7 and 8 other executives in the market. and they are related to several companies, including banks, including Al Watani Bank, where Gamal Mubarak has around $28 million of shares there. And these illegal inside tradings have been the cause of this court ruling. They have been taken out by bail in the last few years. But it was a surprise that in the court yesterday, the judge has ordered them to be put back in jail. So they attended the court case thinking that they will go home afterwards because they were out on bail. But the judge has ordered them all to be put back in prison. And that's where all the confusion happened at the stock exchange. And it's not about just other normal traders, but we're talking about executives in the biggest companies that are trading in the stock market in Egypt, such as Yasser al-Malawani, who's the board member and co-founder of EFG Hermes, the largest and one of the leading traders companies in the Egyptian Stock Exchange. You've got Amr al-Qadi, who's a board member and also co-founder of Al-Qal'a Holdings, another leader in the stock exchange. And this has caused confusion and fear and worry amongst a lot of investors. So they decided to get out for now and wait and see what will happen. And this is also coinciding with what we've seen with the emerging markets in the last few weeks. A lot of investors going out of the emerging markets at the moment. And this has also had this double effect on the Egyptian Stock Exchange.
Indeed. One last question for you, Yasser. So the government's planned to float small stakes in some state-owned enterprises, and that plan is supposed to start next month. Will it continue as planned, given today's fall and all the market chatter we're hearing about tight liquidity?
Yes, the Minister of Trade and Industry, as well as the Minister of Finance, have both issued statements today saying that the plan is going ahead as it is, no change at all. The 5 companies will be put down in the market, including very attractive companies such as Eastern Tobacco Company and Abu Kir Fertilizers, 2 companies that have posted more than 55% profits in the last fiscal year. And they're hoping that this would have a positive feedback at the moment, having those companies down, because this might help boost the stock exchange that needs to be invigorated with a new companies going in with new shares that might attract investors back, might cause some kind of a boost in the market. So they're hoping that these new 5 companies and new shares will help turn the market a bit, will help push it up at a moment that it needs to have some kind of a shot in the arm.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Yasser Hakim there live in Cairo, watching the markets for us here on Global Business. All right, then let's make a run through some company headlines now. Let's start with World Remit. It's expanded its presence in Nigeria. The online money